My name is Lidia Aguilar Bryan. I was born in Mexico City, the daughter of a Mexican father for at least 3 generations and a Russian-American mother. I have one brother who is in Mexico, married with 1 kid, and works in economics. My father was born in the state of Sonora, which is on the border with Arizona, in the early 20s. At that time, there were not a lot of schools all over Mexico, so he left home very young to pursue his interest in obtaining an education and ended up becoming a lawyer and going afterwards to New York, where he met my mother. My parents have been married for almost 60 years. My father has worked all his life until he retired from the university in an academic setup, and I'm sure that had much to do with what my brother and I end up doing. My mother, who by the way is a very interesting woman, was a stay-at-home mom. She was the first generation in her family to be born in the U.S. Her parents came from Russia at the end of the last century. She gave us a lot of support as we were growing up, made us very independent, and allowed us to pursue whatever we wanted. She was the reason why we both grew up bilingual and with a pretty good idea of what we wanted to do. I was always interested in becoming a physician since I was a little girl, and that is exactly what I did. After I finished medical school and I did my residency, I started working in genetics and became interested in the genetic component of common chronic diseases, and I started working on cancer and diabetes. As I was being trained, the possibility of coming to this country for a PhD came up, and I took it. The idea was to spend here 5 years obtaining a degree in genetic epidemiology that would allow me to go back to Mexico and do research in this area. I spent several years working with Mexican-American families that have a high frequency of diabetes in the Rio Grande Valley, and after I finished my training, I went back to Mexico and started working there. Let me tell you that knowing what we want to do in life helps a lot, but having enough flexibility for the changes that life brings with it is also very important. The reason why I picked up diabetes were determined in part by my interest in the disease and in part by what was available at the time I came to Baylor. And this was related to diabetes research. When we are single, we can do almost whatever we want. Once we get married, we need to learn how to compromise and share responsibility. Once you have a kid or 2, that goes even further. My husband and I have had the privilege to work together and the fortune to share many things, from the responsibilities at home to the research we do. I think it is fair to say that we have worked very hard and have made important contributions to the field of diabetes. For that, we have received the Michael E. DeBakey Excellence in Research Award. I would encourage everybody to think about the possibility in going into the health sciences. It doesn't matter if you become a physician, a researcher, a nurse. I can assure you that it will be very, very rewarding.